morning, friends. My name is Professor Taval Chandarana, and today we will discuss a database management system subject. And in DBMS, we will study a unit number 3 known as a relational query language. In this particular unit, we will discuss some mentions point known as a relational algebra, tuple and domain relational calculus, SQL3, DDL and DML construct, and the last one known as a open source and commercial DBMS known as a MySQL, Oracle, DB2 and SQL Server. So as per discuss all the points, we can easily say that in this particular unit we need to focus on relational algebra as well as tuple domain relational calculus and DDL DML construct. There are lots of software available for the database management system, so we can go through this some of the commercial as well as free available software in this particular unit. So start with the today's topic. Today we will discuss two different points known as the structures of relational algebra. Means first we know that how the different fundamental things we need to study in this particular lecture, as well as different types of key which we are using for a data management system. So we will start with the basic concept of basic structures of relational data model. Start with the example known as a student table. There are lots of informations in student table with a different attributes known as a roll number, name, branch, semester and SPI. With help of all the attributes, we just understand the basic concept of relational algebra as well as relational table. So first, a roll number, name, branch, semester and SPI known as a table attributes, or we can say title of column known as a attribute. Second thing, it is there are 5 different columns available in particular table known as a attribute. Second, degree is equal to numbers of column. So in mentions table, or we can say in student table, we easily know that there are the different 5 types of column. So we can say that a student table have degree is equal to 5 because the numbers of column known as a degree in a relational table. Second thing, row or we can say tuple, it is known as a 7 records. So whenever we mentions a tuple, now onwards we know that it is known as a row. Then cardinality, or we can say numbers of tuples known as a 7 rows. So whenever we find out a cardinality of this particular table, or we can say relations, we just calculate the numbers of row which are available in this particular table. So domain is a set of all the possible unique value for a specific column. Means in this particular table, a sets of possible unique value for a specific column. Means a particular column have some specific unique value, it is known as a domain. And domain of branch attribute, it is known as a CE, CI, EE and ME. So there are the 7 record, but as per the domain says a set of possible unique value, if it's considered as an example of branch column, so we can getting a CE, CI, ME and EE. It is a unique value from the branch column. Second thing which we are studying in this particular videos, it is known as the structures of relational database. A table known as a relation, a database object that holds a collections of data for a specific topic. It is table consists of a row and column. So whenever in this particular unit, whenever we require or whenever we mentions a relations, then you easily know that it is known as a table, and table is the consist of rows and column with a specific topic. So now onwards, whenever I will mention a relations, you need to mention or you need to understand that we will discuss a particular table's value as well as table's data. What is column? In a relational database, whenever we mentions attributes, at that time you just understand we are discussing on a column. The vertical components of table, it is known as a attributes or a column. A column has a name and a particular data type known as a varchar, decimal, integer and date and time. So whenever we create any particular column or collections of column in a particular table, we need to maintain a following structures of a database known as a data type as well as a particular column name. Third thing which we need to understand, it is known as a tuple. So whenever we mentions a tuple, you can find that we will discuss a particular records. The horizontal components of table consist of a sequence of values, one for each column of a table. It is known as a row. So whenever I will provide a known as a tuple, then you can easily understand now onwards that whenever we discuss a tuple, it is known as a discuss about the particular data of a table. So in these three components of a relational database, we need to understand that whenever we discuss any concept about relation, you can easily find that we are discussing about the table. Whenever I will provide information about attributes, then you know that we are discussing about the column, and whenever we mentions a tuple, at that time we are discussing about particular data. A database consists of a collections of table, or we can say relation, each having a unique name. So whenever we provide or whenever we create any relation in a particular database, we need to provide a unique name of a particular relation. It is the mandatory thing. Whenever we create a table, we require to provide a unique name which are not currently available in a particular database. Now we are studying a different types of key. With help of different types of key, how we can manage a data management system with example. So start with the super key. A super key is a set of one or more attributes whose value uniquely identify each record within a relations, or we can say table. So what is the requirement of super key? Whenever we require a value which are provide the unique identified but not with the single attribute, with help of more numbers of attributes, means the combinations of column, and we require to find out some unique record, at that time we are using a super key. In the below mentions example, you can easily say that enrollment number, roll number, branch, semester, SPI, name and backlog. At a particular example, how we can use a super key, just we go with this example. A super key, it is known as an enrollment number. Based on an enrollment number, we can easily find a unique record of a particular table. But a super key also we can mention that if you provide a roll number, branch and semester, then also we can find some unique record from the particular table. So as per the definitions mentioned, a super key is a set of one or more attributes. Whenever we say that it is one, means enrollment number or more attributes, at that time we go with the roll number, branch and semester, means collections of all the three attributes, and whenever we provide all the three attributes as a unique record, we easily get from the super key. Super key not as a SPI, name and backlog, because if we provide some information like 8, name Jatin and backlog 0, we can't getting a unique record from this particular table. So we need to provide some unique attributes, or we can say collections of unique attributes, to using a super key for the getting a unique identify of each record within a particular relation. Second thing, a second key known as a candidate key. A candidate key is a subset of super key. In a previous slides, we go through the super key with example. If we divide super key, or we can say a subset of super key, it is known as a candidate key. A candidate key is a single attributes or the list combinations of attributes that uniquely identify each record in a particular table. I will just clear that why we are using a different types of key. because we need to find out a unique record from the relational, or we can say a specific table. With help of a single attributes, if we easily find some unique record, then we are using a single attribute. If sometimes unique record will be not getting from the single attributes, at that time we are using some combinations of attributes. So in a candidate key is a single attribute or list combinations of attributes, means we require to minimize our super key. So we can say that it is a minimize, or we can say list combinations of attributes. So it is known as a candidate key. We will go through this example. Same example we will take, which are taking from a previous super key. A candidate key, it is known as enrollment number, because as per the mentions enrollment number, it is a unique from each a student. Whenever an end user provides some enrollment number, we can easily find some unique record from the particular relations. In a candidate key, a roll number, branch and semester also is a part of a super key. But now onwards, we use a list combinations of attributes. So a candidate key is a super key for which no proper subset, it is a super key. Means a candidate key is a super key. All the two kinds of candidate key which we are discussing previously in a super key, same as it is. For which a no proper subsets, means in this all the three combinations of attributes, there are no any kind of subsets we are generating, and for the generating subset we are not getting some unique record. So which are no proper subset in a super key. So it is known as a candidate key. Every candidate key is a super key, but every super key is not a candidate key. It is the really important to understand what is the mentions below line, that a candidate key is a super key, means whenever we mention a combinations of a particular attributes or a sets of attributes as a candidate key, it is a super key. But whenever we create any super key, or we can say combinations of a attribute and mention it is known as a super key, is it not a candidate key every time. But in a relationship, if you found that any combinations of attribute, or we can getting a name as a candidate key, it must be a super key, because with help of all the combinations of attribute, we can easily get a particular a unique record from our relation. Second last, it is known as a primary key. A primary key is a candidate key that is chosen by the database designer to identify the tuples uniquely in a relation. Same example we will continue with this. A particular understands of different types of key. Enrollment number, it is known as a candidate key. A primary key is the candidate key that is chosen by the database designer to identify the tuples uniquely in a relation. As per the primary key mentions that whenever we create a actual database in our real life, it must be, or it is a mandatory that one of the attributes known as a primary key to identify a unique record from our relation. So as per the mentions candidate key known as enrollment number, as well as a candidate key is the collections of attributes known as a roll number, branch and semester. So both we can say it is known as a primary key. But as per the practical concept that whenever we collect a combinations of attributes, we can mention a candidate key, but we are not provide as known as a primary key, because primary key is the only unique attributes which are mentioned in a particular relation. So in below mentions example, enrollment number, it is a primary key. Whenever end user provide any of the enrollment number, we can getting a unique record from our relation. The last one known as a alternate key. As an alternate key is a candidate key that is not chosen by the database designer to identify the tuple uniquely in a relationship. Means whenever we require to find out some other combinations which is currently or temporarily related with the database, it is not designed by the database designer. It is known as an alternate key. Like as per previous example, we can say that enrollment number, it is known as a candidate key. Also we can say it is known as a primary key. But what are the alternate key? If a database designer provide a primary key as known as an enrollment number, but we are using some alternate option with help of collections of attributes known as a roll number, branch and semester. With help of all the three attributes, we can easily found a unique record from other tables. So it is not selected by the database designer, but based on the requirement, we found some unique attributes, so it is known as a alternate key. So our main fundamental thing is, with help of all the key, we just found some unique record from our relation. What are the different rules of a primary key? First one, a primary key may not have one or more attributes. As per our example says that a primary key, if we mention in a particular relation, we just use a one single attribute. There is the only one primary key in a relation. As a practical concept, we can say that whenever we maintain a single attribute known as a primary key, it is only one in a particular relation. Third, a primary key attribute's value cannot be null. If some end user provide the null value in a primary key, so we can't found some unique record. So it is the primary rule that if we provide any attributes known as a primary key, it must be have some value. It's not provide a blank submissions value. Generally, the value of primary key attribute does not change. Whenever we provide some attributes known as a primary attributes, or we can say primary key attribute, it's not change, or we can say it rarely change by a particular sometimes, because if some value will be changed randomly, or we can say within a particular time, so we can't use up as a attribute known as a primary key attributes, or we can't found any unique record from the particular tables. So we just provide attributes known as a primary key attributes, those value not be changed or rarely change, means it is not changed by as per the time requirement. And the last, it is a foreign key. It is the actual implementation of a multiple database, or we can say a relational database. A foreign key is used to link a two relation. It is the actual concept where the end user wants some record from the multiple tables. At that time, we are link some table which are required to provide some informations which are mentioned by the end users. So at that time, we are connect a two or more than two tables with help of a foreign key. A foreign key is an attribute or a collection of attribute in one table that refer to the primary key in another table. Or we can say that foreign key concept is mentioned as a primary key as well as a foreign key. Primary key concept, it is known as some unique attribute in a table. It is known as a parent table, as well as a foreign key which are available in some another relation, but this is refer for the parent table known as a foreign key. A table containing the foreign key is called as a child table, and the table containing the primary key called as a parent table. So it is a concept of dependency structures. If we maintain a parents table, child table with help of primary key and foreign key, so we can easily found some records which are required from the end user side, and we can easily connect two or more than two relations. As per the example, there are two relations known as a student relation, where enrollment number, it is known as a primary key attributes, name, branch and semester, or are a simple attributes. In a project relations, there are a project ID, it is a unique attributes, or we can say primary attributes, title, it is a simple attributes, and enrollment number, it is connection between a student relation and project relation. So we can say that a project relation have enrollment number known as a foreign key. In a student table, enrollment number, it is known as a primary key. So student known as a particular parents table, as well as a project known as a child table. So it is the connection between enrollment number with the enrollment number, but with the help of a primary key foreign key concept. So it is known as a parent table and a child table. I hope you are clear the basic fundamentals of a relational table, how we are using different key and found some unique records, and what are the actual concept in a practical life, how we are implementing a particular different key with help of example. Thank you so much.